Now my center, boy, look at how far these come in now. Did I need to bring them in that far? My center swirl is going to have to be pretty small because I don't like my center to touch my outside edge. So I probably really did not need to come in that far. But, you know, it's something different and it's still pretty. It'll stitch seamlessly. Hold shift, right click group, group 1. And I think the params are still good. Click outline, there we go, apply. And there you go. And so we'll go ahead and show you how I make this swirl in Inkscape. For right now, I'll just hide the pentagon and these are longer, you know. I don't know which looks better. I kind of like them when they're shorter. I could have made these shorter, but we're going to let it go. But I can come in here and just kind of put that swirl in. The new one I make is going to be slightly different. I'll group, ungroup it. Take this one, group, ungroup. Where's my swirl? Up at the top. These two. Control C, Control V. Okay. And then I'll just group them. They're going to stitch first. We're going to make these a different color. And we'll grab this. We'll bring it over here. For right now, like I'll hit Control Alt C to center it, but you'll see it, you know, because it's kind of an irregular swirl, you have to center it yourself to make it look good. And so I'm just going to make it smaller, and I'll hit Control Alt C again, and you actually spin it until this end gets close to the beginning, because our beginning is this one here. It's on the left. This is our beginning of this one. So you have the beginning of this. You kind of click it till you can rotate it. Now it's selecting the whole thing. So one sec. So we'll take this, and you can see you can click down here in the parts window. This one is where it starts, and then this one is where it ends. But you can kind of spin it so it gets close. Like, so I clicked it once, and I'll come and spin it. And once it's that close, to be honest, you can just edit this and snap them. You know, they're two separate objects, so you have to edit them separately, but I'm going to spin it till it spans the point of the triangle. So I want this point to be halfway between the two. And I could change how this comes in, you know. So there it is, kind of spanning this point. And I don't know if it's too close or what, but I centered it. Sometimes when you center it, you actually, it looks close here, but there looks like more of a gap here, you know, just by virtue of how I made it. The other swirl I make, I'm not going to have it come in as tight to the right. I might have it more centered so I don't have a gap here. But in the long arm, I'm just used to making swirls where I'm tight to one side, and then as I come out, it just makes it easier, sometimes prettier. But at any rate, I am going to move this down here. So I'm going to click it again. Click. I'm going to hold Control and move it down. And so now, you know, I won't be using as much of this, but so I'll zoom in here. And I'll just click in the parts window so I don't have to ungroup it. And I'll hit edit. And so I'm going to make this a square node. Insert. Can't delete the beginning, so we're going to reverse it for a minute. And so this will be my end, so I'll hit delete, and then I'll snap to node, and I'll just snap that. And then I'll just fix that. I'm so weird, I reverse nodes. I wanted to begin here because just, again, with the long arm, I make it a certain way. I'll show you in a minute. But let's click on the second one then and hit edit. And it is ending here, but let's insert, make that square. And then click here and delete that one, and then I drag it. It's easier to drag something, you know, down or away than bring it up and then create a mess. But I don't really like how this is looking. You know, I'd want it to curve more like this and come down into the petal. So I'll leave that one and then click on this one and edit it more, which means I have to see the rest of it. I really hate to mess too much with this part of it, though. So I don't know if I can do this and still make it look good. I don't know. I guess I will mess with this a bit. Because the more you can get it to be, these two lines to be far away, the less bulk you'll have. Because, you know, you got a tie on here. I don't know how that's going to look. Let's just see. It's not bad. It's not bad. So then, looks like let me see where this one is starting. Okay, so it is starting there, Control 1. I'm trying to decide why I have a scissor here. Did I not reverse my nodes back on this one? Let me see. Edit. So it's ending there. And let me just zoom in down here. I did snap it, nodes, align beginning to previous. Oh, okay, I have something out of order. Control C. Which one did I edit? Okay, so that's my first one. I was supposed to be editing the second one, duh. Because I want to get rid of this scissor. So I clicked on the second one, edit. So my ending node, nodes, align end to next object. Okay, there, see, I didn't have it snapped. Okay, hit the check marker, enter, and now the scissor is gone. Okay. So I'll hold Control, select this one. I'll group them. Group one is taken. So group 2, Control 1, and so you know that's how it would look so far without the echo with this particular swirl. I honestly like the shorter petals. So if I were to do this over again, I would shorten it. So you could leave it where it is. You know, you could leave the top where it is and you still can connect these somewhat, I believe, but you would shorten the bottoms. You know, you would, I guess I have to show you now. Group, ungroup 2, here, group, ungroup 1. You would just click on it. Here we go again. It's hanging on to the entire thing. That is so weird. If I hit edit like I did before, then hit enter, then it selects it. But if you take it down here, sometimes, let's see, I don't think it's going to move up here. Yeah. So I'm taking it up a whole 10 mils. I like it better. I like it better shorter. So I'd have to go through this whole process again of rotating it, snapping to previous, Control S, and it's going to even look, you know, way better once I put an echo on it. It's going to be beautiful. Let's do view, layout, hide the grid, and let's generate. And imagine it with a ton of echoes around it, you know, like 3. And then go into 3D, Control 1. It's so pretty. Now this is my favorite one. I really like it. Every time I make them, I get better and better. See how this curve is real tight, and see how this one's real long? I do things a little slightly different, and I just get better at it. And like I said, I'm going to make my next swirl not so much hugging one side, although that does offer interest. If you just make a swirl that comes from the center and goes out, it looks like it was computer generated. This looks more natural and organic, but after I made it and I offset it to make the ribbon, I saw that I'm not crazy about this gap. And then I thought, well, maybe I should have brought it the other way, but then this is tight. And then I thought, well, maybe I shouldn't have curled it in so much. So I was just going down a rabbit hole. So there's so much you can do. This one, I didn't even take away one of the petals or anything. I'm just going to make it as one design quilt in the hoop. So I'm trying to make it all simple the first time around. So here we are in Inkscape, and I made a swirl just to practice, and I'll go ahead and make another one for you. But just so you know, Inkscape is free. And if you just Google Inkscape download, then you should get the correct link right away as your first hit, and it'll say .org, and it'll have the S, HTTPS, and you know, you'll just click that, download app, Inkscape. You've been directed automatically to the best download. You can see all the available ones. You can go here. You can just click on, whoops, here it says 64-bit, and I believe they also have it down here. You can click on that. You know, there's so many ways, whoops, to download. I'm 64-bit, most people are. So if I were to click on that, then it gives you the different ways. You know, you can install it as a package, just get the exe, and so on and so on. So this is what you would do to get Inkscape. So we'll go back to it. And now to make a swirl, there's so many ways to make it in Inkscape. Yes, they have a swirl tool right here. And you can use that, or spiral, they call it a spiral. And you can use that. I I have been using that, but then making this little leg is always a pain for me. So this time I didn't use the spiral. I just used the Bezier tool right here, and you can click B on your keyboard. But I'll just show you what the swirl does. I'll click the swirl, and these are your settings up here. Number of turns, I must have had it at 3.77. Divergence is how, like, I'll just do it. I'll show you. Okay, you just take it and drag. Okay, and so what you see, and I'm just going to scroll up, what you see is I have 3.73 turns, so, you know, I don't know, 1, 2, 3. I don't know how they're counting that, but if I say just make it 2 turns and hit enter, you can see what it makes. If I say 4 turns and hit enter, it does that. The divergence is how wide it is here as it diverges out. So I have 2.5, but if I put it to like 4 and hit enter, so that's where you can see it hugged this side and then it made this wider. And then the inner radius is this. So right now it's at 0.493. And if I want this to curl in more, I make it smaller. So I'll just hit the minus, see it moving as I'm hitting the minus sign. So I'll hit the plus sign. I'll just hold it down. Okay. And so it goes back out. And maybe I'll do the divergence at 3. You know, I don't know. I guess that looks okay. But if you keep dragging this, okay, it's just going to keep diverging and diverging, right? And we kind of want ours to like stop there. And, but it doesn't make that S at the end. So if I hit enter, I'm thinking it's so funny, I'm thinking I'm in Embird. I'll hit the select button up here just to select it. And then if you click once, you'll get the rotation handles, and I'll just rotate it. And you can hold control if you want to rotate in increments of, I believe, 15. And you can click again. I'll just click again, you kind of click on the line and then hold control to scale it down. And so on. But like I said, it's snapping because I have snap on up here. If I uncheck that, hold control, no, bring it out a little. So I'll take it and drag it. So then I would duplicate it and then make another one. That's why I made these 2 different colors. But my point being is then when you want to make this S, you have to hit the Bezier tool, hit B or Bezier tool here. And then I'll click snap to node again. And I mean, I can snap it down here, see handle to cusp node. Or I could maybe snap it here, but the other thing with the Bezier tool, there's different modes. And I have shape none, you know. But this is just the regular if you hover. This one will create like a spiral path, a spiral. That's how I made this one. But if I use it now, I'll just show you with this one. So if I with the regular Bezier tool, I'm hovering, it says handle to cusp, so it's going to snap, and then I'm going to like just click. I could have clicked and dragged and all that, what everybody does, but for right now, I'm just going to maybe click again and then hit enter. It's showing down here as a fill and a stroke, and if that happens, if you X out, the fill is gone and you just have a stroke. If you want to have a fill, I'll click a color here. If you want to get rid of the stroke, you hold shift and hit the X. But I want a stroke, so now since I want a stroke, I click on the word none and I get the stroke panel up here. Stroke paint, it says no paint, click there, and so on. And then you can change your color, and you can change the width of it and everything there. But we'll just leave it as black, and then I'll get rid of the fill by hitting the X here. And so with this, it's not even really an S, so I would go into, I'll hit the select button just to select it, and then this is the edit button. And to zoom in Inkscape, it's the number 3 on your keyboard. But I don't know if it does it in edit mode. Yeah, it does. Let me use the minus sign to zoom out. So I'm going to zoom out just a little bit more. And to pan, you hold the space bar and you can pan. So this one here, I probably shouldn't have done it. I'll just delete it. And then you get, you know, the handles, which Embird doesn't have these. Sometimes they're easier, sometimes they're harder, but you can take it and kind of make a curve. But then this kind of never really gets perfect. So then you hit your select button, hold shift. Let me back up. This is a path because it was a Bezier curve, but this, since we use the spiral, it's not a path. It's, if you look down here, it's a spiral. So you have to turn this object into a path. So you go to path in order to, because what we're going to do is make these 2 nodes here where this and this connect. We're going to make it 1 node, but this has to be a path. So you go path, object to path. Now this is a path. So now when we hit edit, it's just regular nodes, you know, just like this Bezier. So I'm going to hit the select tool again so you don't get confused. I'll hold shift and select this. And now I'll hit edit, and you'll see that it's kind of small. If I zoom in with my plus sign, the 2 nodes on top of each other is like small and gray, but you can draw a box over it, and those 2 are selected on top of each other. These are just the handles. And then up here you see join selected nodes. You see 2 nodes become 1. So you click that, and now you see it as a big, you know, big node. And now that this is all one piece, if I pull this away, see, it's all connected. See, Control C, Control C. But if I hit the, you know, we still have an issue there. So again, I'll hit this, and I'll probably just delete that. Okay. And then try and take these handles to make it smooth. If you have these handles kind of the same, well, you don't want to do that. Control C. Sorry. Try that again. I have a hard time with Bezier nodes. You can come up here and make them symmetrical. Sometimes that gets rid of the knot. Or you can hit this one, which makes it auto smooth, but then that kind of distorts it sometimes. So let's try this one first. Symmetrical. And let's hit select. So it's still kind of hitting edit again. Still kind of like not smooth. So I'm stretching it out and maybe, you know, it's okay. I can get it smoother in Embird, to be honest, but it could just be me. I'm going to click it again and I'll show you what happens when you click this, the auto smooth. See, it turns into, it smooths it, but it distorts it. And with this, you just take the center circle and move it around, but you have a completely different look. And if you take one of the handles and move them, it turns into a regular node like this, you know. See, it just turned into another square node. So, I mean, it's probably fine. It looks okay. But honestly, this one I made, I like it better. And I just made it with the Bezier pen. And I'll show you how I did that. So hit B on your keyboard or the Bezier tool right here. And I'll click this S mode. And I'll click. And then as I click, and it's, if I want a curve, I will click again, and then as I drag my mouse away, you see how it starts making a curve. And if I just drag, I'm not even clicking, you could see what it's doing. I'm just dragging. I'm not even touching the screen. It's so interesting. So, but now, right about here, I guess I don't know, maybe come up here. Maybe I'll click because maybe I want to turn, and then I want to turn again. Maybe here, here, here. But then see, if I come here, see how it's doing its own thing? It's doing that. I'm just moving this. I'm not even touching the screen. I don't even like it. I'm going to hit backspace. Okay, so I'm back up here. And then from here, I'm going to click. And then I'm going to come down here and click. And then hit enter. And honestly, that looks like an alien. Let me hit the select tool. So it's really funky, but it's so organic, and this is all smooth. You know, everything's smooth. And when I hit edit, if I want to bring this in, I have to do it with the nodes. So which node? I can click here and hold shift and click here, and then click this plus sign, and it'll insert a node right there. But that kind of made it weird because I'm in that weird tool. So I'm going to control C. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to click outside, and I'll just click this node. Because remember, see, look what's happening. It's the tool that's doing that. The mode that I was in. I'm going to take this one. Okay. See, now I'm bringing it in. See, I'm not used to this tool, to be honest. So, and then maybe I'll take this and just move it a little bit. Okay, and then I'll hit the select. And I might have not want this to curl as much. And I said I wasn't going to have a big gap, and look, I did. So let me hit edit again. Let me take this and just, oh, it's not going to let me move it up. Okay, so let me see about this. Interesting. It is such a wild tool. I kind of like it. I really didn't want it. Okay, that's what I want. I wanted it a little bit wider. I guess I'll go with that. I know I said I wasn't going to have this wide, but I do want it to look organic. So I'll hit this and I'll go ahead and duplicate it. So in Inkscape, it's Control D because that'll put it right on top of it. If you hit Control C, Control V, it'll offset it. So maybe I'll do that. Control C, Control V, and see how it offsets it. And I'm going to hold Shift and turn that a different color. Turn it pink. But it's not very dark. And I wonder if my stroke paint, if you scroll down, see how my opacity is down? Bring it all the way up. Okay. So let me zoom in a little bit. They're not fitting in the screen. And I'll just, you have to grab, when you grab it in Inkscape, you have to put your cursor actually on the, colored part of the design, on the object edge or whatever. So I'm going to take this and now I have Snap 2 on. Let me unsnap. So let's see. So this one, we will offset it. And I can offset it down or up. I don't know which way I like it better. Or I can offset this like over here. And not down, but I guess I'll do it over here. It's a little bit different and I have it at an angle. And then I want to connect this and I want to connect down here. If you notice on this one, well, notice how it crossed over here. I do like that. And I'm not crossing over here. So there we go. Okay. So then this isn't going to be real ribbonish like this one. I honestly don't know how I get these. That's interesting too. It's crossing up here. And remember I was telling you, like every time you make something, it looks just slightly different. I don't know which one I like better, to be honest. That doesn't cross at all, so that doesn't look good. I mean, that's a little different. I guess I'll go with that. But I think what I'll do is click on the black one and I'm going to edit it up here. Remember this, if I change it, if I do path object to path, then I could just take this and move it up. But since I'm still in that crazy mode, oh, it did let me. Okay. Okay. I don't want to change it too much, but I do want to get a ribbon effect. Okay, I'll hit the select tool. And now I'm just going to hit the Bezier tool. And I'm not going to do the spiral. I'm going to do the regular. And I'm going to have snap to node on. And I'm going to click and then click. And I don't know why it's making a curve. Let me just hit enter. Yeah, I don't like that. I did that before. Okay. I think let me click outside. It's almost like, yeah, see how that, it's almost like it still wants to curve. Okay, let me hit escape because I just have the regular one selected. I want to click and okay, there I see a regular node. See how it's just square? Whoops, I just dragged it. Sorry. Let me do it again. See how it's just a square node with no weird circle in it? And then I click here and hit enter, and I just got a straight line. So I'm not sure why it hung on to that spiral. So let me hit select and delete that. Hit my delete button. So let me hit the Bezier tool again. I'm on the regular, and notice how you don't see the square there anymore here. So I'm not sure what I did wrong. Maybe you have to click outside before you do it. I'm not sure. But handle to cusp node, I do want to snap to it. And then I just want to snap to this one with just a straight node. And then hit enter. And there it is. And so now we want to come down here and we want to connect, either connect this one or that one. It's easier to drag this black node down. So I'll click on the black object, and here's my objects panel. That's what this is, and it's up here if you don't have it in your tool area. But the first group is, let me hit this. Okay, what's this path? Not sure what this is. Oh, that's that one I made. Okay. And this is that first one I made, and then these are the ones I made here. So this one is the last one I made. So in Inkscape, the last one you make is up at the top, and then that's the second last, and that's the first of this one. So, and I'm showing I'm still got the Bezier tool selected, so let me hit the select mode. So this one is the black one, and I am going to edit that and drag this node down. So snap to node is on. So I'm going to click edit, and I'm just going to take this and snap it down. And then hit my select button, and there you go. So now I have two. They are different because you could see I started them differently. I really like this one because notice I started it and then went to the right and down. Whereas this one, well, the black one was first. Yes, I went to the right, but I went up. So I don't like this one as much for some reason. I'm used to seeing it this way. So I'll save them, Control S, and they save as an SVG. Okay. We'll just call this a flower swirl. Control A, delete. Flower swirl. And we'll save it as an SVG because that's the only thing that Studio Next brings in. And here's the thing, you want to combine them. So I'm going to just draw a box over it. It's the easiest way. And you want to go to Path, Combine. Oh, it's not going to work. Control C. We're going to have to select them and turn it to a object. I kind of don't want to lose the, the S spline. I kind of want to make a copy and paste it, but I'll just turn it and do object to path. So we must go object to path. And so now they're a path. And now I'm pretty sure I can combine them. Path, combine. Okay. So now they're just one path all together. Complete. And then this one, I just love it so much that I am going to copy and paste it. So it's grouped. The group is up here. I already grouped it. I selected them all and then hit this button. But I'm gonna just do I'll do Control D so you see what I mean. Control D. It's right on top of it. And here it is up here, group 11. So I'm just gonna drag it down. So this one, then we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna do path, object to path, and then path, combine. Oh, that had a fill in it. Control C. I don't know why I did that. Let's see. It's a group of 3 objects. Let's see what we got. So with it selected, I'm going to come up here to ungroup. Okay. Usually that says none. So let me just hit the X. Okay, now it says none there. So that might have been what was doing it. Maybe it parted. Oh, maybe that little one was a fill, this little line. I don't know. I don't know, guys. But with it selected, I'm going to just do path, combine, and there we go. And I'm just going to change the color on that one. I'll make it blue. If you just click on the color, it makes it a fill. Control C. You have to hold Shift and click a color. Now the stroke will turn blue. Okay. And then this one, we don't really need it. I mean, it's okay, but it just, you see how it doesn't look organic like these do? Because we use the swirl tool for this. So I'm just going to delete it. And this one, group 11, I'm going to click on it, double click, sorry, and just rename it Original Spiral. So I know it's the spiral. And I'll hit Control S. There is one thing I did forget to do, and if you recall, we had put these little outline segments and we attached them to the swirls, and we also attached 2 nodes down here. We snapped them together. Well, we have to combine those into just 1 node here and 1 node here and 1 node there. So to do that, we'll start with this one here. We'll click Edit, and you can see which ones are doubled because look how small they are, which is counterintuitive. But this tells you that there's 2 nodes on top of each other, or this node is on top of the one underneath it. And same thing here. Well, the easy way to do it is to just draw a box around it while you're in edit mode. So we'll draw a box. They're both selected. or all four are selected. And we'll do right up here, if you hover, join selected nodes. The two become one. Click, and now they're two big nodes, and there's nothing under them. If you move them away, you know, Control C, there's nothing under them. And do the same thing down here, draw a box, click, and now you've got a node there. So that one's done. Let's just click here. Got the same issue. Let's do the bottom one first. Draw a box, click. That one's done. We're going to zoom in here. Just hit my plus sign. I'll hold the space bar and pan. And if I draw a box, I'm going to get that other node in there. So I'll hold Shift. I'm sorry, it's Shift in Inkscape, and then click it to deselect it. So now just these two are selected, and click up here, and there you go. And so now, not only are they combined, but they are, you know, perfectly just one node, one node, one node everywhere. Nothing is on top of each other. Let's go ahead and take this one. Oops, let's hit the select mode. We don't want to be in edit mode. And let's hold Shift and turn it a different color. Green's good. And I'll hit Control S. So it's being saved as an SVG. And we'll probably not touch this one. I'll delete it when I get into Studio Next. And then we'll just go into Studio Next, and we'll just import this whole file and then delete this when we get in there, and probably this one too. I'll just keep this one. Okay, design, import, flower swirl, and there they are. Let's see how they come in. This is by itself though. Yeah, because that goes with this one here, and we didn't join selected nodes on that one because we wanted to leave it as it was. So this one and this one, okay, we're going to just delete it. But these two came in just fine. So let's go ahead and I'm just going to make one of them. I'll just grab it and shrink it. And then I'll look down and see how big it is. It's about 42 wide. Okay. I'll just go to the transformation window on this one. I'll make it, I'll just do 50 wide. Enter, apply. Let's make it 45. We could try that. I'll hit done. And because that was the one I liked better. So I'm going to take it and drag it. Okay, there it moved. Let's just take this one and kind of move it over. Hit the blue. I'll hold Control Alt and hit C. Yeah, it's going slow now. It selected it, but is it going to center it? Okay, and I'll hit Control 1 to zoom in. So it is a little large. And I'll go ahead and just grab this and make it smaller. And if you recall, you know, we have to recenter it anyways. So I'm going to click it again so I can rotate it. And I'll click it again and, oops, and move it. click it and rotate. Kind of see how I want it to go. Maybe something like that. I'm going to hold control and just move it to the left here. It must be snapping to grid. Let me do options, snap. Yeah, we don't want this on. Okay, let me just click outside and see how that looks. And let me do view, layout, uncheck grid. I think I want to move it down. So I'm going to click it, hold control and move it down. And maybe hold control and go left here. Because remember, we can't just center it because it already is kind of off center and organic. Now I can make it bigger or I could bring it down. If I click it and rotate it. I almost feel like it should be bigger, but then this is going to be, yeah, it's not going to work. I'm going to have these down here, but I could always change and bring them in. I don't know how I feel about it. Let's just see what happens when I make it bigger. We know it has to connect here because I believe this is where this is starting. I'm going to hold control. I'm going to hit edit and look at all the nodes. Because when you import a vector object, that's what happens. I could reduce them, but I'm not going to. So I'm going to hit the magnifier and I'm just going to come down here. And I'll let that one stay as is. Since this is all connected, I can right click, place a start point here, and then hit end on my keyboard. Now it's going this way. So if I click here, it's going this way. So I'm actually just going to start hitting my delete button to get rid of this pretty S, but let's till we get up here. So that would be interesting now that it's not there's no line, it just comes off like that. That's interesting. Okay. Like I said, it's different every time. So then we'll just make them the same color. Let's make them something pretty. I'll hold control. I don't know. I guess I'll just make it green. Oh, I just made that green. I thought I had them both selected. Actually, oh, I don't have the flowers. Sorry, I had just the two swirls. So these two. So I'll make this swirl, say pink. And then these two, this flower and the swirl, the petals in the swirl, I'll make green. Even though flowers, you know, I don't know, are there green flowers? So there you go. And so what you can see is we've got scissors here. First of all, let's take this and just move it up. Just drag it, let go, insert before, and then this has to stitch first. So drag it, insert before. Now we still see a scissor. So let's just see what's going on. So this one, we know it starts and ends down here. And this one, okay, it ends here, so it starts there. So for some reason, we didn't snap it. So let's go and down there and look and see what's going on. So I'm going to grab the magnifier. Okay, it is letting, yeah, you can see it's not snapped. So I don't need to zoom in that much. So we're going to go ahead and click this. We're going to hit edit, and we're going to use the nodes tool up here. And we're going to click align, and to next object. So the end of this is going to snap to the beginning of this. We don't have to pick or anything. So we'll click and see how it just snapped up there. Because, you know, it's sometimes you don't feel like thinking. You just want to do it. So with it snapped up like that, we should make this better. So I'm actually going to snap this one up there, but I'm not going to do the nodes line because this is the beginning of the entire object. I'm just going to take it and make sure snap to node is on, and I'll just snap it up there. But, you know, this part looks good, but this doesn't. So I'm going to delete some of these and try to make a gentle S. Delete. I'm not doing a good job. So what I might have to do, is turn this into a square node by inserting, and then click here and insert. So now we got a square node there, and you just want to make a C. So how close do I have to get to make my C? I think I want this to be square. And then I can delete this one and make my C. That up. We don't want it to snap to anything, but that should do it. It looks smooth on both sides, I think. Does it? I don't know. Let me hit enter. It's okay. It could use a little work. Sometimes if you, do I still have a C? Yeah, from here to here. I'll delete this one. As long as you have just a C shape, it makes life easier. Okay, we're going to go with that. And so there's our swirl. So now we just have to make our echo. And you can see our scissor is gone now because we snapped that. We didn't want to mess with the flower, you know, and make the flower snap to the swirl. We wanted the swirl to snap to the flower. So let me click outside. So it's quite a different shape. I'm not as crazy about it now. I like this one better the way it's shaped. This one kind of comes out right here. I'm not too crazy about that. But, and I could fix it if I wanted, even here in Embird. I could come in and, you know, I wouldn't use this node, but I could go to, which one was it? Envelope, transform envelope, and you can reshape it, you know. Let me zoom in. We've got horizontal edges, curve. We'll just start with a curve. And vertical edges is just a line. Make that a curve. You don't need any symmetry. I'm just going to take this and see what happens. No, you can move it, and this is where you get your Bezier handles done, just like in Inkscape. I don't know how I feel about that. You know, it's moving everything. I don't know if I like it or I don't like it. Let's just see. Check. You have to check. If you hit this, it's kind of like escapes. So you hit the check and then it'll stay. So let's see how I like that. It's okay, I guess. It's not bad. I don't think I distorted it. It looks like I might have. Yeah, I did. I distorted this. Now, if I hit Control Z, it might Control Z 2 times backwards. But let's just see. Okay. It did fine, actually. So I don't know if I distorted it too much. Let's just see. Let's just try it one more time. Transform envelope. I don't know if I leave the vertical as a line. Let's just see. I'm going to take this one this time. I guess that's just the shape of it kind of over here. Yeah, I don't like it. Not sure how I feel about it. Let's see. I guess I like it now. Okay, we're gonna go with that. But let's zoom out and see if it's still centered right. I mean, it's okay. I could probably pivot it. I'm just gonna take it and move it just a hair down here. So I'm gonna have to do it this way. So I'll move it and then I'll rotate it. But then I have to snap it down here. So I have to zoom in here. Probably could just rotate it a little bit more. And we'll hit edit. And I'm going to just do the nodes align end. And if you want to get to the beginning node, you can hit home and then, whoops, snap to nodes, hit home again. And see, it's now, I got to zoom in to get to the home one. So hit home and snap it. Barely snapping. Is it snapping? Let me hit enter. I guess it's fine. So then I'll hit the flower and hit control 1. It didn't look right there. Did you notice that? Because the ending one did not match up. This end node did not match up there. I don't know if you saw that. Yeah. So I'm going to just hit edit and I'm going to snap that. I'm going to cheat. Hit enter. There's no scissors. There's no scissors there. So we look good. So if I hit the flower and hit control 1, let's see how it looks. Not bad. Took me a while. But at least we got some experience with some of the other tools, especially the envelope and whatnot. Okay. So while we're here, let's hold control. Hit control S2 to save it. Let's just go into params and see what we got going here. Stitch length. Okay, so when there's a box around it, that means one of your items has a 0.7 min, probably the swirl we bought in, but you can just click here and set it to whatever your default usually is. I'll do 1.5 and enter twice. That was just panning, by the way. It didn't move anything. And see, now it went away. So everything is 1.5 and 2.0. You hit apply. Done. Control 1. Let's go into 3D. And there you go. So now in the next video, we will do the echo. All right, guys, we'll see you next time.